So my confession for you is that I woke up this morning and I looked at my roots of my hair and I was trying to get a quick run in early. I'm taking medicine that I don't sleep anymore. So and I know you never sleep. So I look at my roots and I'm thinking, holy shizzle, I'm going to be seeing Kendra. I better get my stuff together. So I just did. I got a 5 my emergency box underneath the sink. I'm like, I'm definitely dyeing my hair for her.
You are hilarious.
Hi, everyone. It's Susie Mordoh from Greater Than We. And I am so glad to be here with another conversation with women that love what they do. And today I am lucky because my friend Kendra Porter is joining me. And Kendra is just sort of a megawatt. She is a fashion stylist and is super talented and has her own business called Honor You. And she loves to honor the shape and size of women all around. And when we met, just to have full disclosure, we sit on a board of directors together for a local nonprofit. I knew I was going to be friends with her. I just had to hear her talk and how much she enjoyed what she did. And I wanted to share that with everyone. So I love to do these conversations because I feel like it might spark something in someone that, wants to possibly change what they do. But also it's nice to see the face behind whatever the business is. So all of, Kendra's fans and the people that are behind her get to see her just have a conversation and hang out and see what she's about. So Kendra, thank you so much for sitting and chatting with me today.
No, thank you, Susie. It is a pleasure to be on with you. I love you dearly.
I know, we're like a mutual admiration society over here.
We are.
The normal way to maybe start this is to maybe explain a little bit about how you got into what you did, because, to know Kendra, when I, started talking to her and learning about, her background and, she's a super smart tech girl and was in a whole industry other than this. But, like all of us girls, we want a good pair of jeans. And so, your passion of what, you might do on the side versus what you do for your day job sometimes just takes you into what it is you do. So why don't you tell us how you got here?
Sure. So the long and the short really of it is I got into this business really because I see so many women struggle about what it is that they're wearing, what fits, what doesn't, what makes them look good, and issues with their self-esteem. And so I had an opportunity, truth be told, after losing my job twice in 3 years, of really saying, what do I want to do for me? Because we spend so much time working for other people that for me, it was like, let me take that time and decide what I want to do for me and work on myself, work on my own business, and invest that back in me. So I started Honor You, which is, a consulting agency that works with women on what works best for them. The best way I used to like to extract, just
Exactly.
The best way that I used to like to describe it is, have you seen What Not to Wear? And most people would say yes. And so then I would say, that's what I do from soup to nuts. What's interesting is that one, I started with Stacey London. So I trained with her with a company that she had called Style for Hire. And it was a network of independent stylists that were all trained by her, personally selected to join her company, worked my way up from apprentice to stylist to the market manager for the New York area. And so that's kind of sort of how I got started. The business has grown and just changed completely from that. So where I was doing initial one-on-one consultations with people, I now have gone to doing, live events, large-scale events, talking to women, talking to young girls about self-esteem, loving yourself, embracing who you are, and of course, fashion.
I love that. That's, you're totally talking my language with that one. What about the fact that, so a lot of stylists or the people that I know in this industry would say like, oh, I'm, KendraPorter.com versus what's behind the name Honor You? Because, I enjoy that my company is Greater Than We and everyone says, why isn't it SusieMordoh.com?
Right.
So I definitely want to have this conversation with you.
Right. So, okay. So a couple of things. One, everyone says always have your name, for your domain at least, or at least buy that so nobody else has it. So for me, my domain is kendraporter.com, but my business itself is called Honor You. And my tagline is honor your shape, honor your size, honor you. And it really is about helping women embrace who they are. What I feel like as a entrepreneur and as a business owner that is growing is that my company is growing, and my company will grow and continue to grow over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, hopefully 50 years from now. Mm-hmm. And in that vein, I have to think forward enough to say, I don't want it to just be my name. It's not just about Kendra Porter, because you have me now, and as the business is growing, but when I hire more people, it's not just about me. It is about the business overall. And I'm looking at growing out different branches and different brands of my line. So it's not just Honor You, it'll be Honor Your Style, you know, which is what my social media is mostly on, but then Honor Your Body, Honor Your Mind, Honor Your Spirit. And it's a way for you to grow and grow as a brand.
Right. You're sort of speaking my words. I so agree with that. The greater than we, I always say, then wouldn't it really be about me if it's Susie Mordoh? My whole mantra is about raising each other up and the power of collective good. So it felt counterintuitive to make it Susie, you know, as opposed to we. So that is, you know, that is a really important tip for entrepreneurs starting out. What's, you know, your future thinking of what you're going to do with your business and how that might affect, you know, what you call it. If you put it by your name, you're locked in, right? You're locked in. It's all about you. Whereas if you can make it exponential, doesn't that really help?
Yes.
I really enjoy that. So one of the more exciting things that has just recently happened to you. So we are, just so you know, people watch us all over the world. So we have, although we are local, both in Westchester here, and Kendra was just recently honored with a fantastic award. She was voted Best Stylist from Westchester Magazine, which is in our county kind of like the People magazine, or in style the who's who of what's what. But globally, the message is the same. It doesn't really matter where you're from, and feeling comfortable in your skin, in your clothes, honoring what you wear and your shape. You know, that is universal, and for women especially, because we're always so tough on ourselves, right? Like, you know, I don't look like the magazine, or I don't look, you know, I can't wear the thing I want because it doesn't fit right. So what advice do you give to those women? I happen to have a button complex. So back, you know, where I've shared this with you, you know, I was 50 pounds heavier before I lost weight. So I have this thing about when my chest was much larger and I couldn't wear a button-down shirt without it, you know, gaping or gapping or whatever the term is, I still have fear about putting button-down shirts on. You know, how do you work with somebody like that, or their fears, or whatever their thing is?
You know, it's really interesting. I think when I started the business, I started initially to deal with plus size clientele. So anybody who wore a size 14 and above. Mm-hmm. And it was really because I understood that struggle, and I understood what it meant to be plus size. I understood the self-esteem issues. I understood the baggage that came with that from growing up as a kid. And I was never necessarily overweight as a kid. I was always, you know, my father is 1 out of 15. He stands 6'1", and he's the shortest man. So I was always bigger than everybody else. Mm-hmm. But understanding how sort of what that deals, how you deal with that as you start to get older and as you become a woman. A lot of women hold on to the baggage that they had when they were a kid, what their friends told them, what their parents may have said, you know, and then stereotypes, of course, and what you see in the media. And so for me, it was really about helping women understand that they're not alone, first of all, and two, here's the reality of what it is and what your body looks like and what you see versus what I see. You know, I think a lot of women stand in the mirror and they say, well, you know, I'm fat, or this is too big. I had a woman who, she was a size 6, had 4 kids, and said, well, I'm fat. I'm going, how are you fat? What are you talking about? And she said, well, no. She's like, well, look at my pouch. I'm going, you have 4 kids. It's perfectly acceptable to have a little bit of a belly. But mind you, when she said this, she was also wearing a turtleneck shirt and a pair of spandex. So as to how big of a belly that really is, I'm not quite sure.
Sure.
But it's the perception that people have of themselves. And so I really get women to look at themselves in a more truthful manner and to really see themselves differently. And then to talk about, you know what, I've had other clients, or, you know, here's a way to deal with particular issues, and to really get them to see the reality and not their perception of what that reality is.
That is so important. And I have to tell you, some of that really resonates with me because I hold on to stuff from my childhood. I was always sort of muscly and, probably a little more masculine looking than my, stick thin friends. But
Right.
the perception of what the messaging I was given was not realistic. But then, then eventually I met up with it as I put on weight and gained weight and I lived it. But those thoughts, they become reality. So you really have to adjust your mindset. So you are a true gift, I'm sure, to thousands, and legions, and inspiring the young girls to stand in who they are. Nothing better than that.
It is. It's, I think that's more than anything, it's why I do what I do. It is, the passion that I have, the love that I have for it. You see women kind of sort of go through the changes, and I do before and after pictures with people. I'll do pictures while I'm in the process of working with them, and you start to see their body changes. They stand up straighter, they start to smile, they start to flirt with themselves in the mirror. It's a whole new perspective, and that's what makes me happy.
I love that, love that. So let me just ask you this, because we're talking about the younger girls. Is there anything that, now that you are where you are and you know what you know, that you would have liked to tell your younger self? Some advice you could
You know what? I would tell my younger self that you're worthy and you're valuable, and that you do have a voice for what you say. I think I also come from a very old school mindset in terms of family. So my father was from the Deep South. My mother's from the West Indies, very old school in training. And so as kids, you were kind of sort of seen and not heard. And I always had something to say, which got me in trouble a lot, but understanding that what I had to say and knowing the value in that as you start to get older and as an adult, understanding your worth around other people is very, very important. And so I think I knew that as a kid, which is probably why my parents and I used to butt heads all the time, because on a certain level, I knew that I had something to say. They just didn't always want to hear it. And sometimes I didn't have anything valuable at either, but, I think understanding that, and that's what I really would go back to myself to say is like, you're worthy, you're valuable, know your worth. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to work, whatever it is, everybody in and of themselves, women and men, are worthy of who they are.
Absolutely. Hell yes. Like, I agree. Standing as a parent of teenagers, girl and boy, and as a daughter, and was a teenager, I understand both sides of the fence. And so you try to encourage them to stand in their light, but yet sometimes, honestly, I don't, you want to keep them a little humble too. So it's a little tough balancing.
All about perspective.
Exactly.
Parents have a very broader perspective. I am, can I say this? I should say this. Oh my Lord, I can't believe I'm almost 40. But,
I'm almost 50. I'm almost 50. It's out.
But, it's one of those things where my father still to this day likes to say, well, no, but your mother and I have way more experience.
Yes.
I'm going, yes, I know you're way in your 70s. I understand. However, I am still a grown woman and have my own, experiences as well. So
absolutely. But you do have a smart dad, because he's always going to win that argument. He's always going to have years on you. So you're good. I appreciate that. I'm going to keep that one for the feather in my cap. Which is awesome. So Best of Westchester, tell me, what does that feel like?
Best of Westchester. It's funny. Over the last 2 years, including this year, one of my goals was to, set media goals for what magazines I want to be in, what publicity I was going to do, right. And pretty much have met them. The one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to be in Westchester Magazine. Nice. And for me, it's a really beautiful feeling to be acknowledged by your community. And so to have, the readers pick me and say, you are the best fashion stylist in this county is great. And I love it. And what's even better is that all of the people that I've met and have dealt with over the last year and have, really engaged in are also Best of Westchester winners, which is phenomenal. So I just have a cool group of friends. Exactly. Although I am not in Best of Westchester, I am glad to be part of that group of friends, because I am friendly with a lot of them. We'll all be at that party in just a couple of weeks.
celebrating you all.
Absolutely.
That is fantastic. So if people can make it to Best of Westchester, but they want to work with you, and I imagine you work worldwide, like you can do some of this stuff as we're doing now over Skype or, you know, online.
Right.
You don't have to, everything doesn't have to be in person. How would they get in contact with you?
So anybody can reach me directly. They can call the office, which is 914-246-0207.
Okay.
That's 914-246-0207. And
Okay,
we'll
I'll
make sure
I'll put it down. Yeah, I'll put it in the video.
Yeah. At the link at the end. But I mean, they can reach out to me online on my website, and so there's a contact form, and from that point forward, depending on where they are, you know, I travel definitely for my clients, especially in the Northeast, since we're here in New York, and I'm back and forth out of Boston and all of that. But you know, people also fly me out, and you know, I've been in California to do some things, so I go where my clients are, and if they can't afford to do that, then I also work through Skype and online, and we go through, you know, sending pictures back and forth, having conversations by the phone, doing, you know, like what we're doing now and doing a meeting online. So there are a number of different ways that I can work with clients. And really the services go from everything from really closet organization, understanding what your colors are, understanding your body shape, what silhouettes work best for you, to then going through your closet and saying, okay, here's really what works, here's what fits, what doesn't, what needs to get tossed, what needs to get tailored, and then creating an inventory of, you know, what do we really need to invest in at this point, and putting together, you know, a wardrobe. What I see in people's closets and what they see is just a very different perspective. And so it's coming in and saying, you know what, no, you think you can't wear it, but here, let me show you a couple of different ways how to do that.
I need you in my closet. I need you to come. But I have, you know, it's funny you're saying this, and I can't even believe I didn't even tell you this, but I have an opt-in that, you know, when people get on my newsletter and the list, and one of my opt-in things is what to wear. So I have to shoot it your way and get your approval. So I could say, like, you know, Best of Westchester Stylist of the Year approved.
Absolutely.
Basically, it talks about having clothes, you know, the tailor's your best friend, right? Like getting clothes, even if they don't fit you exactly right, if you get them tailored to you, you always can jump into something that, you know, feels right, looks good, planning ahead, don't do that last minute. You know, I'm trying to avoid, for events at least, the pile or the mountain of clothes that's on your bed just before you're about to walk out because you've been like this. Like, all right, I don't like that outfit. I don't like that outfit.
You're not alone. I still do it. So you're perfectly fine.
All right, so wait, maybe I got to send you this thing and how to, you know, I love a clothing rack. What about that? Like I put a coat rack in my room. If we have a big event and the whole family's going, everything gets lined up. We're like, all right.
You're good.
We'll see.
Yes, you are very good.
That's the planner in me. But you know what? I think I just gave away one of the tips. So you're not supposed to do that, I think. Anyway, so I loved talking to you. There is one last thing that I do with everyone just because it humors me and I enjoy it. And that is I like to pick an angel card. And there's always a lot of good love and karma in these things. And it's a great way to, you know, send us off on the rest of our day. So are you willing to play with me? You're good? Ooh, you're frozen. Okay, there. I see you now.
Yeah, I got you.
You're willing to play with me?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So here's what I do. I just shuffled them. Okay. And then I turn them to the camera. Now I'm not really looking. And then we're backwards and reversed and whatever. So I'm going to run my fingers over. And you're just going to tell me to stop when you, like, you know, tell me to go back, stop, whatever. And then I'll pick it. And then you tell me that's it.
Go back.
Like,
back.
Keep going.
Nope. Keep
More?
going. Yep.
This one right here?
The one, two, like, nope, go two that way.
This
Continue
way?
Going oh, sorry. Right. The direction
you were. No, I'm reversed. So.
Right. And then go two from the one that you just picked up.
One second. 1, 2. It would be this one.
Okay.
That feel right?
So 1, 2, the third one then. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. I want it to be right. So that means it's this one.
Okay.
That one?
Oh.
Am I in the wrong direction?
Nope, you're fine. You're
that's
fine.
It?
I think so.
Here we go. All right. You're going to tell me what you think. I love this one. Can you see it? It says freedom. And look at, like, the naked bodies, right, of these angels.
I tell you, I hate wearing clothes.
Perfect. So what's the first thing that you think of when you see freedom?
Owning my own business. Like, I truly love owning my own business, and for that reason, to have the freedom to do the things that I want to do, and not feel tied down.
Right. Okay. So when I saw that, and just like my little 2 cents, I said, this is exactly what you do. You allow women to feel, let me go this way, to feel free in their bodies and their spirit. Like, you're helping them with their whole image and the way they present themselves, so they can be the best versions of themselves.
Got you.
So that's how I read it. So that's why, it's a little fun to play. And we have a different spin on it. And a free, being an entrepreneur and having your own business, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
So thank you for playing. And this will be posted shortly, and everyone will share it on all of the outlets and let the social media gods rain down on it and give us lots of good comments. And I know that our community will love us. So I know I'm going to see you soon. So thank you again.
No, thank you so much for having me on, Susie. I love you. This was a fun and a blast. And I will see you in 2 weeks, if not sooner.
Exactly. Big kisses.
Mwah.